do, y'all? This your girl, Star Craziness, and I'm coming to you, and you with another Word on Street segment. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. So, Miss Kandi Burruss, she sat down in the shade room, and she talked about a variety of topics, such as, you know, what's going on with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, motherhood. She had touched on the whole thing with Carlos King, and that's the video that we're going to be talking about today. Now, she basically broke it down, you know, how it started and how it is now. So let's take a listen to what Miss Kandi Burruss had to say about this whole Carlos King issue and him taking and trying to do a whole biopic on the ladies, the group of Xscape.
Speaking of setups, you kind of touched on this a little bit. Carlos King, you know, essentially taking your life story, you know, and trying to sell it and make a movie out of it. What is like the update on that now? Where do you guys stand? Have you had a conversation?
There is no update. He and I haven't talked about it at all. And it's not like I'm reaching out to him trying to talk about it.
Right.
That happened some years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was when our group first got back together. Remember when we were, when we first came back together, what was it, 6 years ago now?
Sometime, yeah.
Now it's been like 6 years ago. When that was part of the reason that we ended up coming back together, because we found out somebody was doing our life story at some network. And then, you know, we were calling each other like, yo, did you do this? Did you do this? You know, and then when I found out.
How did you find out?
It was
Because
random.
you guys were friends, right?
Who?
You and Carlos? Or Todd
I
and
thought
Carlos?
we was cool.
Okay.
Todd and Carlos used to be business partners. I considered Carlos like a friend. He used to have an office in my office building and everything.
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, like I thought we were cool.
Right.
Now Todd and Carlos did bump heads about some business stuff, which is, you know, when you have business with y'all do business together, sometimes you're gonna have some issues, right? So they did have some business issues, but in that last season that Carlos had produced, we still were being, you know, working together, being cordial or whatever. I had to be around him down there 5 days a week, right? So we ended up, the filming ended that season, like for Housewives that year, in November. December, so only a few weeks from the time I seen him, in December, I was talking to a friend of mine that was like a producer-director. Me and Todd was talking to him, and we were like, yo, like, it would be dope if Xscape had a movie, like, about our lives or whatever. And our friend was like, oh, they already doing that movie. And we was like, what you mean? Who's already doing the movie?
Right.
And he was like, yeah, like, I just took a meeting about that. Like, somebody, like, he was like, yeah, he told me the network or whatever. And I was just like, what? So I called my agent. I'm like, yo, like, what is going on? He looked into it and found out that it was true, that the network was doing it. And anyway, it took us a couple more weeks to find out, like, who had put it all together. But it come to find out it was Carlos. He was supposed to be producing, director, whatever, the movie. And it was crazy because, like, that same, right before I found out it was him, like, one of his producers or people that he worked with had reached out to my mom, was like, oh yeah, you know, we trying to do like a documentary about girl groups. We want to get some more information, like, to interview my mom. Like, so you're gonna do all of that and you don't even tell me, you don't even talk to me, you don't even mention. And then at first when I called him, he didn't answer my call. But then when Tiny and we went and had like a meeting with the network, because much love to Kathy Hughes.
Okay.
Who's over TV One. Because as soon as she found out about it, she shut it down.
Yes.
Because she was like, as a black woman, I don't want other black women to be taken advantage of. So at that point, when it started being a problem, then he reached out, and I didn't answer his call at that point.
Being
Because I'm like, he didn't answer my call when I called him.
Considering he's like a good producer, if he had asked, would you have like worked with him on it, or is it more?
If it would have been like, to me, if he would have like reached out in the beginning before selling it, right? Network. If he had reached out, it would have been a conversation. It would have been okay, well, let's see how this could work or whatever. It wouldn't have been a get out my face. But if you find out, like, I mean, it was just hard for me because, like, to be clear, he's the same person. Like, we went hard for him, like, to executive produce, which was that Candy's Family Ski Trip. I think we had the first show that he executive produced.
Oh, wow.
Like, I literally was, like, going hard with the network, like, yo, y'all got to let him do it. And so we were cool. Like, we had, like, a good relationship, I thought, except for the, you know, the the drama between him and Tide about business or whatever. But that was like still like you're around me all the time. I'm seeing you almost every day for months.
Yeah, it was more so a betrayal.
It was a serious betrayal for me. I just didn't even understand it. Like I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. But you know, at this point, it shut down.
Okay.
I haven't been talking about it anymore. Like, I don't want people to feel like I'm dragging it. Because you know how some people are like, oh, she's dragging it.
Yeah.
I'm not dragging it.
You're asked about it.
I'm asked about it. And the conversation came up.
So there you have it, y'all. Now, from what Kandi is saying from her side of the story, Carlos King, you shiesty, bro. You are shiesty. But I don't think he really ever touched on it, like, fully touched on the situation. If he did, let me know in the comment section below. But y'all tell me what y'all think about this and what Kandi had to say. And I will see you on the next Word on the Street.